afternoon. I'm Jeff McClean. I'm from San Antonio Military Medical Center, where I'm a neuromuscular neurologist, and I'm the Associate Program Director for our residency training program. And for the Academy, I serve as the chair of the Emerging Leaders Forum work group. So that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about today, is the Emerging Leaders Forum and what that does for careers. So the Emerging Leaders Forum is going through a little bit of a transition now. So I'm going to talk about why that is, what we're trying to do, and then lay out our program vision. So the background for this is that the leaders of the Academy going back several years recognize the importance of identifying and training in an intentional way the future leaders of the Academy, and trying to provide them with the resources, the support to really be able to come into the Academy at an early stage in their careers and contribute new perspectives, new views that will make overall the Academy's, serve the Academy's visions and goals in a richer way. And so to do this, what they created was, one way that they did this was they started the Emerging Leaders Forum. And this started in 2013, and it was a program designed to take early career neurologists and provide leadership training and introduce them to the Academy. And this has over time evolved over the last 4 years and has been a great program. But one of the things that was recognized was that it was targeted at perhaps too broad an audience. It was meant for early career, but the way that was defined was fairly broadly. And so we had participants who were still in fellowship, and we had participants who were associate professors and fellows of the AAN, and everyone enjoyed the experience, but there's different needs for someone who's still in fellowship compared to someone who's an associate professor already. And so what we did in the last year is we decided to split these two programs. Split into two programs, one focusing truly on early career, which we've defined as 10 years or less out of residency, and then another for mid-career neurologists that will be for those that are greater than 10 years out of residency. And we're hoping to focus then on the individual needs of each of those groups. So the Emerging Leaders, what will be called the Emerging Leaders Program, is based on what previously was the Emerging Leaders Forum. This will, the first class will open up a year from now, so we'll start taking applications for this in April of 2017. And this will be an introduction to the Academy, an introduction to serving in the Academy, focused on, again, those who are just relatively early out of their training, giving them a chance to really immerse in what it is the Academy does. And so what specifically that will look like is there's some leadership training that's provided by a facilitator, Barb Hazy, who's excellent, and she goes through some personal insights where people learn about themselves, how to lead themselves first before they're able to lead others, and learn some basic principles of what it takes to be a leader in an organization like this, but also to be able to take those skills back to their individual institutions or their practice, whatever setting they come from. So that's the individual leadership training. There's also, each participant is paired with a mentor. And the idea for that is to pair them with someone who has similar goals, similar interests, but who's already accomplished more, who's farther along in their career. So each participant is individually paired with a mentor who can guide them along their career pathway, again, both within and outside of the Academy. In addition to the mentorship, there's a group project. And for this new revision, this project will be something where the participants will work in tandem with a AAN committee. So one of the larger AAN committees might be working on a project, and they will bring in the Emerging Leaders Forum participants to help with that and to work independently as a group. And at the end of their program, they'll then present to that committee as well as some of the senior leaders of the Academy. And so the idea there is that they get a chance to really be fully immersed in how the Academy works, but also to contribute fresh perspectives. And the way this has worked in the past was that the idea was to really give them a chance to go through this process, but what it turned out is that the past participants were bringing such fresh ideas, such great ideas, that it became quickly recognized that it was really a boon to the Academy to do this, because you were getting fresh new ideas, fresh new perspectives, and a lot of these things have resulted in significant changes to the way the Academy does things. So for instance, a lot of the PI online products that are done that used to cost extra money to members now are available as part of the membership. A lot of the other MOC materials, though, a lot of the idea for that, to make that available to members without an additional charge, came from ELFs doing this program and presenting their ideas on how to better serve the members. So this idea of this early career program now, like I said, has morphed into also serving this gap where we thought, well, we need to really do something for mid-career neurologists. So that's where our new program, the Transforming Leadership Program, comes in. And so this is, again, meant for those that are at least 10 years out of residency. That's where we sort of set the cutoff between early and mid-career. Those that have some leadership background, some leadership experience, whether it's within the Academy or at their own institutions. And the structure will be somewhat similar, but it will be a more intensive, more individualized program for a smaller group of participants. So this is going to be a 10-month program. Each participant will be asked to bring a leadership project into the program, something that they're working on outside the Academy, and they'll propose that idea and they'll get individualized coaching as they go through the program on how to try to accomplish that. So they'll be working actively towards a goal, get that coaching, in addition to the mentorship. And the mentors for this program will all be board of directors level people in the Academy, more senior leaders who, again, can guide these people through the next stages of their career, both in the Academy and outside. In addition to that, they will also have a group project that they'll work on, and this group project will be directly linked to the Board of Directors' strategic plan and tie in with that, and at the end of their program, they will present that project to the Board of Directors. And again, this has, in the slightly different format before, has been highly successful with all of the past years presenting amazing proposals to the Board of Directors that have often resulted in significant change. So one of the other new things that we decided to do with this program is we wanted to make sure that there was sustained engagement, sustained development, even beyond the program itself. So the program, the Emerging Leaders program, will be 6 months long. The Transforming Leaders program will be 10 months. But we wanted to make sure that it didn't stop there. So what's next? How do we sustain that engagement? How do we sustain that development? So what we did recently was create an ELF alumni work group to really focus on that. And they've had a phone meeting a couple months back. They'll be meeting for the first time in person here tomorrow, I believe. And what we're going to be really looking at is how do we continue the development of those individuals who have participated in the program. How do we make sure that we keep promoting them as leaders both in and out of the Academy? And how do we keep them engaged? How do we help network them? How do we help provide opportunities for them? And then also, how do we track them? How do we make sure that we know that we're doing a good job with the program? So that's really what the alumni work group is going to look at. That's just a brief overview of the program. I'll mention briefly the new program, the Transforming Leaders program. Applications for that just opened April 15th, so that's the new program that just became available. So we are now accepting applications, and that program applications will close July 1st, and we'll be starting that program in September. So that's a quick overview. I didn't want to get too much into the details, just kind of wanted to give you an idea. And I think I should also mention, this all fits within the larger scheme of a real important initiative that the Academy is taking on to provide development and leadership opportunities for its members across the spectrum of their careers. So the Academy, I think, has done a really good job in individual areas doing this. Some of you may be familiar with the Palatucci program that promotes advocacy. There's the ELF program that did early career leadership. There's a diversity leadership program that tries to bring in more underrepresented minorities. But all of these were operating independently. And so recently in the last year, what the Academy has done is bring all of these under the umbrella of a leadership development committee. And all of the heads of those individual programs all sit on this committee now. The staff from the Academy are pooled together and work. So now we can share best practices, we can share resources, we can learn from one another, and we can make sure that there's consistency and that there's a spectrum of products available to people across the course of their career. So we have programs for medical students, we have programs for residents, we have programs for early career neurologists. Now we're going to have one for mid-career neurologists, and we expect that this will continue to grow as time goes on. And so this is really a new initiative. These are very exciting, very useful programs that I think you'll see continue to grow. And that leadership committee, leadership development committee I mentioned, Terry Casino, the president of the AAN, he's personally chairing that because he feels this is such an important initiative. So that, just to give you a sense of that the Academy is really invested in doing this and doing this well. So with that, I gave you kind of a brief overview. I'd like to open it up to any questions if anyone has any about these programs.